Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. I am Neha Rajvanshi and I welcome you all in today's class, that is English class of class 9th. So students, in the previous video we have completed reading with our poem number 10, that was A Slumber Did My Spirit Seal, and I am very much sure that the poem is clear to you all. The explanation part and all the liquid devices that we have discussed is clear to you all, and the message that the poem is having, that is also clear to you all. And in today's video we will solve the questions, but first of all we will read the summary so that one more time we can revise the central idea, or we can say the theme of the poem. So let's begin with the summary of the poem. In this poem, A Slumber Did My Spirit Seal, the poet describes his feelings when he thinks about the death of a loved one. So in this poem, that is A Slumber Did My Spirit Seal, in this poem the poet is presenting the feelings, the emotions that he was having after the death of his loved one. He says that his soul has drifted into a deep sleep as he did not have the realization of truth. And in the very first line of the poem, the poet was presenting this idea that his soul, or we can say his mind, was drifted into a very deep sleep, and it was the reason that he was not having the realization of truth. And what truth he is talking about? The truth is death. So that is the biggest truth, it is the biggest reality, and this is the thing that the poet was unable to feel, the poet was unable to realize. He was not having this realization. He had never thought that one day the death would take his beloved away from him. So in the poem we have read that the poet was talking about this thing, that he was not having any idea, he was totally very far away from this truth, that one day it can happen that one day death would take his beloved away from him. So he was totally unaware from this biggest truth. He has always taken life for granted. And why? Because he was enjoying his life a lot and he has taken life as for granted. But now he accepts the truth. But now when finally his beloved is there no more, his beloved has died, so now he is accepting this reality. Now he is accepting this truth that death is inevitable to all, and now finally he is having the realization. His beloved now rotates with the earth because she is lying under the surface of the earth, and one day she will become one part of the earth. And in the next lines of the poem, the poet was presenting that now what is the condition of his beloved. So now he is saying that his beloved, now she is rotating with the earth. Why? Because she is lying under the surface of the earth, and one day she will become one part of her, she will be one part of Mother Nature. So the poet is giving the message that death is inevitable to all, and this is the ultimate truth that we should accept. So we can say that in this poem the poet is presenting this idea, he is giving the message that death is something inevitable to all. We all have to die one or other day, and this is the ultimate truth, this is the biggest reality, and we all should accept this reality. And this is the reason we should value, we should respect all the people that are there in our life, right? Because they are not permanent. This feeling, this happiness, this is not permanent, so we should value this, we should respect this. Okay, so this is the idea that the poem is having, this is the message that the poet is trying to convey with this poem. And now let's see the question answers. So let's read the first one. A slumber did my spirit seal, says the poet. This is a deep sleep closed off his soul, or we can say mind. How does the poet react to his loved one's death? Does he feel deep sense of grief, or does he feel a great peace? So now in this question, first of all we are given with first line of the poem, or we can say the title of the poem also, that is A Slumber Did My Spirit Seal, right? So now the question is, first of all let's understand the meaning. It means a deep sleep closed off his soul, or we can say his mind, right? Now the question is that how does the poet react to his loved one's death? We have to write the poet's reaction after the death of his loved one, and we have to discuss that the poet was feeling a deep sense of grief or he was having a great sense of peace. So what was his reactions, what feelings, what emotions he was having, that we have to write in the answer. So let's read the answer. The poet is shocked and surprised at the death of his loved one. So first of all, what is the reaction of the poet? So after reading the poem, we can say that the poet is very much shocked, he is very much surprised at the death of his loved one. Why? Because poet, he was not having this realization, he was not ready to accept this reality that one day his beloved can die. So for him it was like a shock, for him it was like a surprise, because never ever he expected this thing to happen. It feels painful, and obviously it is very painful for the poet. Death does not make anyone feel good, it is always associated with misery, and death is something that is never feel anyone good, and always it is associated with misery. So with the poet, he is also feeling deep sense of grief, and the same thing is happening with the poet also, and he is also having a deep sense of grief. The poet is very much sad, the poet is very much upset, right? And why? Because he was not having this realization, he was not having any idea, but finally this has happened, finally his beloved has died. Second question, the passing of time will no longer affect her, says the poet. Which lines of the poem say this? So in this question, first of all, we are given with one statement. The statement is the passing of time will no longer affect her, and now we have to pick out the line from the poem. That line says this thing, okay? So we have to pick the line, we have to write the line here, that which line says this thing, that passing of the time will no longer affect her. So let's see. She seemed a thing that could not feel the touch of earthly years is the line that shows this thing. So which line is there in the poem? So the line is, she seemed a thing that could not feel the touch of earthly years. So we have read in the poem that the poet was saying this thing, that now when his beloved has died, so now she is just like one of the object, now she is just like one of the thing who cannot feel the touch of earthly years, who cannot realize, who cannot able to feel the passing of the time, the passing of the years. Okay, so this is the line that shows this thing, that shows the thing that passing of the time will no longer affect her. Next question, how does the poet imagine her to be after death? Does he think of her as a person living in a very happy state, or we can say a heaven, or does he see her now as a part of nature? In which lines of the poem do you find your answer? So in this question, first of all, we have to tell that how does the poet imagine her to be after death, what the poet is imagining her that after death how she is, right? Second, we have to tell, we are given with two options, that the poet is having this kind of feeling that his beloved is in a very happy state, or we can say she is in heaven, or he is having the feeling that now she is a part of nature. So we have to choose one from these two options, and secondly we have to pick up the lines from the poem, and we have to tell that from which line we can find our answer. Okay, so let's read the answer. The poet imagines her lying under the earth and rolling round with earth's daily rotation. So first of all, we are talking about that what the poet is imagining, that what condition is there with his beloved one, how she is, right? So the poet is imagining this thing, that she is lying under the earth and she is rolling round with earth's daily rotation. Okay, so because she is lying there under the ground, so this is the reason she is also rolling, she is also taking that rotation with the earth. And now we are choosing the one option. So our answer is that no, he does not think her as a person living in a very happy state, or we can say a heaven. So in the poem हमने चीज कहीं नहीं पढ़ी है that poet was talking about that now his beloved is into heaven or something like this, but we have read that he imagines her to be an inseparable part of nature. This is shown in the line, and now we are writing the line. Now we are picking the line, that to which line tell us our answer. So the line is rolled round in earth's diurnal course with rocks and stones and trees. So with the help of this this line, we can see that what poet is imagining, and the poet is imagining that his beloved is now one of the inseparable part of nature. Now she is lying under the mother earth, and now she is having that rotation with mother earth, and now she is one of the part of mother earth. Now she is a part of mother nature, and this is the line, and with the help of this line we are writing our answer. Okay, so students, we have completed all the question answers here. I hope the poem, explanation part, literary devices and all the question answers that we have completed, everything is clear to you all, and in the next video we will start reading with our next chapter. So see you in the next video. Thank you.